one of the problems that must have hit you at the beginning of this project was on Alien, they spent all this time and effort and trouble and money developing one alien. I'm doing a movie with a whole planet full of them.
Right, hundreds.
I presume there must have been some concern on your part that you were going to be able to, or get somebody who could pull that off.
Yeah, there was a lot of concern in that regard. In fact, the studio was very, very leery that we could pull it off, and I promised them on a stack of Bibles, so to speak, that I would do it all with 6 suits, and we did. I mean, there are only 6 in one shot at one time. It's only editorially that you believe you're seeing more than that, because they just keep coming at you from different angles. And also, what I tried to do was make the aliens interesting from a dynamic standpoint, and the way they moved. We did a lot of experimentation with different ways of moving them. You know, hanging them on wires and shooting them at different speeds, and turning sets upside down and sideways, and you know, turning the camera upside down, and just every trick in the book to give them this weird sort of dynamic, unhuman type of motion. And you know, I mean, I think that you're basically just being bombarded with so much imagery that it's you have to just kind of give up and say, all right, fine, they're aliens. You know,
yeah.
They're not guys in suits.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I went more for motion as opposed to design. We kept the design more or less the same as what H.R. Giger designed for the one alien that they had in Alien, the full-sized adult version, of which we had many. We spent most of our R&D time on motion, because I thought that quick blurring lizard-like or insect-like leap was more important than the physical sculptural design of the suit. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of makeup and prosthetics people make when they're dealing with this sort of thing, is that they lavish all their attention on the sculptural detail, the surface texture, etc. of the suit, and they fail to realize that people need very few pixels of information to identify a human figure, and most of that identification is through motion. You know, the way we walk. The way we walk is so ingrained in us mentally that you can see it just like that. So what we did was we actually redesigned the suit and made it simpler and less sophisticated, and basically freed it so that it was much more flexible. And then we found people to be inside the suits who were gymnasts and acrobats and that sort of thing. And then we hung them on wires and had them act like lizards. You know, I mean, it was a study in motion, and inhuman motion.